Marshawn Lattimore, 12 yards from Adam. Case on a deep drop, steps up in the pocket. He'll fire to the right side, caught by Diggs. Stay up! Oh my God! 30! No way! Touchdown! Are you kidding me? It's a Minneapolis miracle! Stephon Diggs and the Minnesota Vikings have walked up on the New Orleans Saints. It's a 61-yard Minneapolis miracle. 12 seconds to go in the game. Niners lead by 4. He'll fire to the right side.
The miracle rematch is here. The Saints come to Minnesota to try to prove that the Stephon Diggs miracle pass was all a fluke. So let's talk about it, and let's start off with this gigantic, humongous, ugly, disgusting injury report. Only on the Vikings. The Saints are healthy. The Saints are just fine. But on the Vikings side of the ball, a ton of injuries, a ton of starters, not looking good for the Vikings. So let's just go down the line of the players that did not participate. I'm doing this a day early because I'll be busy Friday. But a lot of injuries. And starting off, I do not think, if they did not practice, as of Thursday, I do not think they'll play. The bye weeks coming right up, so no reason to risk a big time injury. We can just give them a little extra time, get the bye week, and they should be 100% for the second half of the year. So I think that'll be the mindset. So if they did not participate, I think basically 100% chance they're out. If they had limited, maybe a reduced role, but I would sit them as well. So I'll start off. Anthony Barr will not play, so that means a lot more, probably nickel, probably a lot more J-Ron Curse, and Eric Wilson will probably slide into that Anthony Barr role. Maybe Ben Gedeon will get a little more extended playing time. But yeah, that's what we have right now. No Anthony Barr. Tom Compton did not practice, so more Danny Isidora, chance for Isidora to win that starting job at left guard. So I'm excited for that. Still no Dalvin. This sucks. I was hoping this would be the return of Dalvin finally, but his hammies just still keep him to the sidelines. So hopefully he's good to go after the bye. Linval Joseph was limited in practice. I would sit him. The big guy, he is down to an ankle and a knee, so his shoulder seems to have healed up. But still, I think Tom Johnson is, or not Tom, the other Jaleel Johnson is fine at nose. I mean, it will miss that presence a ton without big old Linval in the middle of the defense, but I think we'll suffice without it. But the Saints do have a really good run game, so it will hurt regardless. Riley Reef was limited in practice as well. This is probably the only one where I would really hope that he'd be okay, because we want to get this offensive line as healthy as it could possibly be. I'm fine with Isidora playing left guard, and if we could finally get a Reef-Isidora connection on the left side of the offensive line, and I would like that to be the offensive line for the remainder of the season. Xavier Rhodes had an ugly-looking injury last week, did not practice Thursday. He's assuming he's out. A lot more Holton Hill, which means Drew Brees will be picking on him all day. Andrew Sandeo is still out. Good thing we have George Alaka. And that's it for the Vikings. A lot of starters. Basically, a quarter of our 22 starters are out. So that sucks for the Vikings. The Saints, on the other hand, no major injuries. They have their nickel corner that they got from the Eagles that had that pick 6, which I think they're kind of hoping would be here for the Vikings. He was already out. But besides for that, they have nothing. So a very healthy Saints team against a very injured Vikings team. So let's see what the Saints are good at. Offensively, they are legit. The Rams are the de facto best offense in the league right now. But I think the Saints are the closest one to them. They are second in the league. 34 points a game is insane. 409.8 yards is 6. 301 pass yards a game is 6. And 108.3 rush yards a game. Over 100 yards a game team is 16th. That's average in today's NFL. That is insane. And that was with the de facto best dual threat running game with Kamara and Mark Ingram. That will be a challenge. No Linval, no Barr. Those are two of our best run defenders. Do not have them. So this will be a tough day on the ground. I think that's one area that they will target. It's right up the middle. No Linval to eat up 2 blocks. be a huge day for Jaleel Johnson. So he'll have to really play at the top of his level. Otherwise, this rotation in the middle of the defensive line will be a big topic for this game. Sheldon Richardson will have to pick up a lot of slack there. Passing the football. This is all kinds of scary. The Vikings, depth chart wise, looking like Trey Waynes. Will the Vikings shadow Trey Waynes on Michael Thomas? They might have to. If it's going to be Trey Waynes, Mackenzie Alexander will be the starters. Mackenzie will slide in to the slot corner in the nickel, and then we'll have Holton Hill on the outside. Who Hill played very good last week, so Hill I think would fine, and size matchup wise matches up very good on Michael Thomas, and they both have the speed to cover Ted Ginn. And thank the God the Saints have a garbage tight end. They have one okay one, veteran, and they have Josh Hill, who's, again, okay. So hopefully we don't have a tight end that gets 80-plus yards a game finally. But, yeah, hopefully our defense can hold up, or this will just have to end up being a shootout, which is not good. But I think since we stood around with the Rams in LA, even against that situation, we could beat Drew Brees in a shootout. But their running backs can catch the ball out of the backfield. That's another big weapon. Kamara and Ingram are both very good receivers. So it might be a good thing that Barr's not in this game, because that's where the Rams targeted. It was like, hey, where's 55? Throw it to him. But if Barr's hurt, they will probably still target Kendricks and Eric Wilson if he's the number 2 linebacker for most of the game. But I'm thinking a lot of nickel, maybe more of a heavy dime with Jaron Kearse in there, maybe McKenzie in there in the slot as well. But it'll be very interesting to see how the Vikings try to cover those running backs. Michael Thomas, you can't really defend him even with a good corner. We saw how good Rhodes was at the end of the championship game, or the divisional game, which led to that field goal, so you'd have a chance to do the Stephon Diggs miracle pass. But it's going to be really tough. And remember, Andrew Sendejo went out in this right at the end of the first half, and that's when the Saints had their comeback. Luckily, Ilaka's way better than Anthony Harris, and he has that presence like Sendejo has in the middle. So hopefully we don't see that type of a game. Second half, Drew Brees all day like we did in the second half of the divisional game. But defensively for the Saints, pretty horrible. They give up 27 points a game, which is 27th. 5 spots from the absolute worst. 366 yards a game, which is 17th, right around average. 293 pass yards a game is 28th, almost right at the worst. But they do have really good run defense, surprisingly. 72 rush yards a game. I think a lot of that's due to teams not running against them because their offense is so good, so they have put the other team in a more of a shootout scenario. But, so the Saints are really bad at pass defense, and the Vikings are really good at pass offense and really sucky at running, and the Saints are really good at running. So this might end up being a first quarter of the season game for the Vikings. Might see 45 passes for Kirk Cousins. He'll probably throw for 360 yards and 4 touchdowns, and it will still be a close game. But if the Vikings run game keeps up the way it has the last 2 weeks, I think we should win this one handily. But if the Vikings are held under 80 yards on the ground, it'll be very, very close. So how do I see this game going? All those injuries for the Vikings. No Rhodes, no Sendejo, all those defensive injuries out. No Linval Joseph, which might end up being the biggest injury. If the Saints can run on us, we won't have a chance. But I think our backups this year especially are so good. We have a much better number 2 defensive tackle in Sheldon Richardson. I think, even with the injuries, no miracle needed. Vikings win, still a nail biter, 33-30. We'll have that last second Dan Bailey field goal attempt. Not a miracle, just straight up through the uprights. So give me your score predictions in the comments section down below. Are you hyped for this one? If you are, smash that like, and we'll see you guys in the next JOZ Vikings video. See you guys then.